Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And today it is another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? Here on the channel, we're celebrating International Women's Month. And joining me today on this brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer is cosplayer Mrs. Tokoyami. How are you doing today, Mrs. Tokoyami?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. I just finished working out at the gym. I gave it my all. I went beyond plus ultra, and I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm excited to talk to you too. Thank you for inviting me.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So before we get in today's interview, I see that you have somebody with you right now, and
yes.
This isn't the first time that we've had cameos on either the podcast or Who's That Cosplayer. So who is the little kid that you have with you right now? I just saw her and she disappeared.
This is her. This is my daughter.
Hey, what's up? How you doing today? What's your name?
Tell her your name is Alena. Say it, Alena. No.
She looked at you. She was just like, hey, how you doing, Elena? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good. How about you?
Can you give me a thumbs up?
Thumbs up. Go like this. Good
hey,
job.
That's like your boy Kirishima. I love it. So
Kirishima, that's right.
So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And like D always says, podcast link down in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this. So, something that I do here on the podcast and Who's That Cosplay, I ask every guest, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. And, obviously you're a hero. You're a part of Class 1A. You're Sue. I love the cosplay. So tell everybody, you're welcome. So tell everybody your origin story.
So I've only been cosplaying for a year. It's only been 1 year. And I started because my friend told me to start watching My Hero Academia. And she told me, oh, you're probably not going to like it. And you're probably not going to like some of the characters, but let's just try it out. Okay. I ended up loving My Hero. I ended up loving Sue and Bakugo and Tokoyami, which is my username explains it. And when we finished the series, because I think it was only in season 3, we went to the mall the next day and we actually saw cosplayers in the mall. They were dressed as Kirishima and Ochako. And I was like, oh my gosh, I admire you so much. You have the courage to just be walking around in cosplay. Like, I want you to do it too, but I'm scared to. And they told me, you should go ahead and do it. Cosplay is for everybody. And that really motivated me. And when I was looking for cosplays, for some reason, Sue's cosplay just caught my attention. So I said, okay, let me try on Sue. And my friend was Mina at the time. And that's how I started doing TikToks a year ago.
Nice. That's awesome. And, when I was doing my research and everything, I was looking through your photos. And for somebody that's only been around for so long, it's just like the stuff that you have on your Instagram is awesome. Now, when I interviewed Steel City Scarecrow, because like on his Instagram, and make sure you check out his episode, it is up here on the channel. His Instagram was like bare bones because he told me he didn't really post up there. But on TikTok, like I was just like, man, you have all of these cosplays, and it's just like you have to do a deep dive in order to see the cosplays that he did. But I love that when I looked on your Instagram, like I pretty much saw everything that you've done. I've seen your journey and all of the costumes that you've done, and they're awesome, especially your Rengoku. I love your Rengoku.
Thank you. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorites, most definitely. He's hard to get into, but he's my favorite.
Hey, trust me, I totally understand. Your boy, it's like I used to have him here on the table with me, but he's not here right now. But as you can see behind me, right there with Eri on his back, it's Deku, Izuku Midoriya. Hey, look, he's up there on the top shelf now. Hey, I still want to show him because it's like Deku is my favorite character from My Hero Academia. Just like you, My Hero Academia was the anime that got me back into anime. Like I had stopped watching it for so long. And when I saw a commercial for My Hero Academia when it was coming on in Adult Swim, I was just like, okay, this seems pretty interesting. And then I found out that it was on Hulu. And on Hulu, all 3 seasons were up there, like except like the newer episodes of season 3. And so I was able to binge it. And I was just like, man, this show is amazing. Like, I love it. I fell in love with it. And everybody knows that I'm Deku. I cosplayed as Izuku Midoriya. And, that was always my dream cosplay. So I understand when you mean that it's hard to get into, because with Deku, it's like you got the suit, then you got the elbow pads, then you got the gloves, then you got the knee pads. Yeah. So yeah, it takes a while, but that's what heroes do when it comes to cosplaying, because you're having a fun time. So I think it's awesome that you saw those cosplayers at the mall, and like those were your All Mights. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they were the ones, you know what I'm saying? They were the ones that inspired you to, finally, put on a costume and have fun with it. So I think that's an awesome origin story. Oh, do you have an origin story too that you want to share?
No? Okay. It's whenever she wants. But, I got her into cosplay actually when we went to our first convention, because I had to take her with me, and that's when I made her cosplays. I made her Inosuke and her Eri myself. She outgrew them now, but yeah, those were her cosplays at the moment.
That's awesome. I always say that if I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna have her cosplay as Eri, and I'm gonna be walking around with her on my back. And you want to know what's crazy, guys, is that Mrs. Tokoyami, she had posted a video on Instagram, and it was showing your daughter's cosplays, and I was just like, yo, because Steel City Scarecrow, he has that awesome overhaul cosplay. I got the awesome Deku cosplay, and then Elena, she has the awesome Eri cosplay. So I'm just like, yo, we got to recreate the scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely, we do.
But I always think that it's awesome when parents involve their kids with cosplay and whatnot, because I feel like coming up, it's just like, our parents, it's like they weren't really into anime and stuff like that, like they watch cartoons and everything, but now it's just like, if you have kids, you can take them to the cons, you can cosplay and do all this stuff. And now I want to ask you, what has been some of your favorite con experiences since you went to your first con and everything?
MetroCon was my first con, and when I used to live in Tampa, because now I live in Puerto Rico. Man, that experience, I only went for one day because I had to go to work, but man, that one day, it was just full of meeting new people, going through the art galleries, just meeting, all the cosplays and everything. Since it was my first con, I was so nervous, right? And I went with my cousin. As soon as we walk in, there's this big somebody dressed as Palkia from Pokemon, right? But I was so nervous. I said, "Oh, look at Digimon," and my cousin was like, "What did you just say?" So I was I was so nervous. I was like, "I mean Pokemon, my bad, I'm sorry." But it was so much fun, and it really got me into like going into more conventions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you said that you live in Puerto Rico. I interviewed a cosplayer, Kitty Eves Play, and she's originally from Puerto Rico, and she was telling me like the cosplay scene there, it's not as big as it is here in America. So I think it's interesting that, I had her and she was from Puerto Rico, and like you live in Puerto Rico now. So like, has the cosplay scene, has it changed down there since I can't say since she was there, but you know what I mean? Like, has it evolved? Has it leveled up down there?
The only thing that has like leveled up is basically people seeing more anime. But in regards of cosplay, you only find people online, but you don't see them out at the malls or out taking pictures like they do like how they do in the United States. Because over here, people are like very judgmental. And so we try to avoid the mean glares and everything, so we just don't go out. Or if we do, we just go somewhere that's not very public, if it's regards to taking pictures.
So now I want to ask this question now. Like, because I mean, for one, like that's messed up. And it just goes to show that like being a nerd and stuff like that is still not as welcoming in other parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's something that we talk about all the time, is that, you know, growing up, it's just like, if you were a nerd, like, you got the mean glares, you got talked down upon, like all of this crap, just because you loved anime, you loved comics and stuff. But now you can go to a store and they have anime shirts everywhere, they have accessories and all that stuff. So I think that it sucks that in Puerto Rico, it's just like, you can't just be yourself and have a fun time. So the question I want to ask now is, like, do you have a group of friends or like other cosplayers, like you said, that are online, where it's like y'all just all meet up somewhere and have your own like small little con?
So I actually, when I first moved here, I met a group of people and at a Puerto Rican cosplay group on Facebook. And we did a virtual con, and that's where I met them. And we were planning on doing this big Demon Slayer group at this upcoming con. It's called it's a Comic Con actually. It's coming to Puerto Rico soon in April. And we decided to make this big KMY group.
Yo, that's awesome. And I really hope that when that con comes there, that it, you know how it's just like, you know, sometimes people, it's like they just need to see something, and like they just need to see how big it is for them to change their opinion. You know, same thing like watching kids movies when you were younger and stuff, and then everybody saw that the Grinch was a nice person, and then they welcomed him into the town. Like, hopefully that happens with, you know, cosplay there, because it's the same thing. Like we had interviewed Valeria Rodriguez, and they were saying that in Mexico, that it was kind of the same thing, where like certain areas of Mexico, it's like the cosplay scene was very, very small. The con scene was very, very small. And it's crazy and interesting that, you know, I can have these conversations with people who live in different parts of the world and whatnot, and you can find out how different it is when it comes to doing cosplay and whatnot. So I want to ask you, what is one thing that you would love to see change when it comes to cosplaying and just nerdom in the Puerto Rican scene?
Honestly, I really wish it would be like normalized. If you see somebody in cosplay, just let them be. They're having fun. If they're not doing anything crazy, they just want to hang out with friends. They just want to take pictures, want to have a good time. I just wish that would like change, and we will have a like safer and fun cosplay scene in Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, there will only be like in cons, or if we meet somewhere privately. But that's the only thing I wish that it could be changed over here, because over here in Puerto Rico, they're very, very judgmental, like literally, and they would tell you to your face, like, "What are you doing?" Like they don't. Yeah,
that sucks. I would Detroit smash somebody if they got in my face and said, you know, it's like I hope that, you know, what you just said, that it does change and that it becomes more opening and welcome over there, and you know, everybody can just have fun, and hopefully it's a con that continues to keep happening and it keeps growing every year, so that way more people can just be like, man, like this is fun, it's cool. Because it's like, I'm surprised you didn't mention it, but a lot of the cosplayers that I interview, whenever they tell their origin stories, they always mention, you know, I loved Halloween as a kid and dressing up and everything, and that's, you know, was my gateway into cosplay and whatnot. And if those people can just see, like, oh wow, I can dress up just like I used to do for Halloween, or just like how I do on Halloween, and I can be this character for 3-4 days and just have a good time, interact with other people. Like, I just wish that people weren't as judgmental when it came to stuff like that, because at the end of the day, we say this on every episode, I say this in life, I say this on every interview, cosplay is about having fun, and that's all that it's about, you know what I'm saying? So who's that cosplayer?
Kiwi Nina Mori.
Right.
You know, now I want to ask you, so what are some future cosplays that you have in the makings? Like I already mentioned on Instagram, seeing some of the stuff that you have up there. What do you got planned?
So by myself, because I also have some cos plans with my daughter. by myself, I actually have Tanaka from Haikyuu. Because now I
Nice.
have my hair short, so I can just put on a beanie and that's it. I'm him. Tanaka from Haikyuu, Akasa from Demon Slayer,
Nice.
and I believe her name is Ibarra from My Hero Academia, the one with the green hair that prays.
Oh, the plant girl. Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her name is. I just call her Poison Ivy. That's what
Poison Ivy, yeah. Poison
Yeah,
Ivy
but-
from Class 1B. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
be her too.
yeah. Hey,
And then with, oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead. I was just about to say I was looking forward to everything. Wait, continue. I'm sorry.
Thank you. And then with my daughter, I was thinking either getting her, look, I was
Hey.
thinking of getting her, here we go. Be careful. I was thinking of getting her a Nezuko cosplay.
Oh,
And I'll be her
nice.
Tanjiro, or
Yeah.
get her a Tanjiro and I'll be the Rengoku. And then the other one is Pikachu and Ash Ketchum.
Hey, I like that. Yo,
And
these are awesome.
thank you. And then for the last one, I was actually thinking of her being Moana and me being Tafiti.
Nice. But that's awesome.
Yes.
And see, and look now, because I recently just watched Moana for the first time this year, so it's like now I know who you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Disney adventure where I was sick with COVID, and I was just like, you know what? I'm about to just watch a bunch of Disney movies and catch up on it.
Movies.
Yeah,
That's so much fun.
They are. So, I love all of those cosplayings that you have set, and I'm looking forward to
Thank you.
seeing everything, man. Especially,
Thank you.
doing everything with your daughter. That's just really cool, and that's something that she's going to, remember when she gets older.
Yeah.
She has kids. It's going to become a tradition where it's just like, me and my mom used to do it, and like now we're doing it.
Right.
So, I want to ask you now, when you aren't cosplaying, like what are some of your hobbies that you're into?
Sorry.
So you're fine.
Well, hobbies. I actually like drawing. I don't post it that much because I'm not comfortable with it. I'm still learning. I'm actually now learning to do digital art.
Nice.
But besides that, I actually do a lot of arts and crafts. That what also helps me into cosplay. Because when I was little, I'm currently still like I have ADHD, and doing arts and crafts actually helps me. And it keeps my mind busy and it gets me like exhausted, so that way I'm not hyper all the time.
Yeah.
And that's something that I did since little, and it's just continued with me, and it's helped me a lot through my cosplay journey.
That's awesome. I really like that, and I always think that it's awesome when you can make stuff yourself. Like when it comes to like cosplay props or costumes yourself, because a lot of times, like sometimes costumes aren't available, and the only way that you can do it is by making it yourself. Or if you're plus size, like some costumes, like they don't come in your size. So I feel like it's cool when how to do crafts and whatnot, how to sew, and you can just put everything together yourself. So I think that's really awesome. And with you being an artist and whatnot and being into digital art, I hope that eventually you start posting some of your stuff online, because I know that it can be hard. I know that sometimes it's like you may give it your all, and like you have people online that are judgmental and whatnot, but like I always say, at the end of the day, it's your art and you're having fun doing it, and the only thing that you can do is just keep on getting better. If nobody's going to give a critique that's in a supportive way, and they're only just going to be negative, the same thing like with cosplay. There's always going to be people online or at cons who are going to be like, oh, your cosplay sucks, or you didn't do that, or you didn't add that. It's just like, man, as long as I'm having fun, like that's all that matters.
Right.
And again, like I said earlier, I wish somebody would say something to me. I say that all the time. I tell my friends when I go to the con, I'm just like, let me know if somebody bothering you. Let me know, because
Detroit smashed them real quick.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's like I just wish that more people, because I know that you said like people in Puerto Rico, like they can be judgmental when they see you in your cosplay costumes and whatnot, but there's some cosplayers who can be extremely judgmental. I'm just like, yo, I'm just trying to have a good time. It's not that serious. I'm not making cosplay my life. But now I want to ask you, because this is International Women's Month and whatnot, and I want to know, who is your favorite woman in pop culture? It can be comic book, anime, cartoon, video game, movie, TV show. Who's your favorite?
I would say, honestly, recently, so I have two, but the first one was Mirko when I first saw her in the manga, and that actually was first animated when they were showing the heroes. And then when I saw her in the manga and everything that happened, I was like, I really admire her. And then recently, there's also Luisa from Encanto.
Hey,
I really like her.
Oh my God, I'm trying not to do it. Oh my God, just relax, relax. No, we can do it. All right, so I just interviewed a cosplayer recently, and that was Hoshihime. And her interview, it is up here on the channel, and she was the first interview that I had did for International Women's Month, and I had asked her what was her favorite part of We Don't Talk About Bruno, and she said that her favorite part was Isabella's part, and she said that it's always hard doing it because it's like she wants to do Isabella and Dolores's part when they're singing at the same time. And I was just like, yo,
right,
if you want to sing it right now, we can sing it. I just need to know who you want to sing as. She was Isabella, and I was Dolores, and we sung the song. So I was just, as soon as you said something about Luisa, because I love Luisa, and it's like very relatable and whatnot. And I was just about to be like, hey, you trying to crack in the surface pressure? I mean, like, hey, I'm good. I'm good to sing it. Hey, we could duet it. And I think that it would be cool because this will be the second episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And plus the second episode of International Women's Month, where we have done an Encanto song, and this has never happened on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So do you know the lyrics to the song?
Not much. I just mumble. So I don't really know it that
much. Pressure like a drip, 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 let it drop. Whoa. Yeah. Yo, my God, no. Well, I mean, since we're here right now and talking about Encanto, like, what does that movie mean to you? Because I mean, like, for everybody was able to relate with the characters in the movie. You just mentioned Luisa. Like, what did that movie mean to you?
Well, it's really, at first, it's like a very hard event. I wouldn't call it event. It's like a very hard journey. There we go. Journey for Mirabel. But she really showed me to never give up, even though it hurts. It's not easy, but just to like continue forward. And then there's family, like family togetherness really just is that what's the word? It's the togetherness that really brings like that magic into family, and that's very, very important. But Mirabel's journey into like being something so tough, and then to actually discovering what her actual gift is, it was really, that's what really called my attention.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. Like, I loved Mirabel's journey to bring her family together, because it's like everybody was going through their own issues. Like Abuela, she was very toxic and whatnot, and because of how she was, it affected the whole family. And I just love that, everybody was able to develop. And the time that we had in the film, with Mirabel and Luisa, and then Mirabel and Isabella, and I just really love that. So I'm really hoping that we see a sequel. I'm hoping that we get some shorts, because it's crazy, because I'm not one person that does like fanfics and stuff like that, but it's so many fanfics that I got in my head of characters from the show.
You get those headcanons in there. Just like I like them, and I want to share them to the world because they're so sweet and just comforting. I just want to share it to the world, and I really understand that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's so much, and like I love the movie. I love all the characters, and then plus, I feel like for people like us, because we love My Hero Academia, it's like Encanto has similar, comparisons and stuff with My Hero Academia, like Mirabelle. I like when I was watching, I was just like, man, I just wish that All Might would show up right now and be like, here, take this. You could be a hero too. Like, do you know how much I was marked out if that happened? But oh my God. But yeah, Mrs. Tokoyami, it was awesome having you up here. It was awesome talking to you. It was awesome learning about you and, learning how things are in Puerto Rico and whatnot. Like I said, this was definitely a learning experience. And this is why I'm doing International Women's Month. So that way I can show all the awesome women cosplayers of the world. And so thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, really. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I know Elena, is she hiding right now?
She left. She's eating cereal with her grandma right now.
Hey, thank you so much, Elena, for joining us. I'm sure everybody that's watching, they can't wait to see some more of her cosplays in the future. They can't wait to see your cosplays in the future. So tell everybody in social media land where they can find Mrs. Tokoyami at.
Okay, so my social media, I am mainly in TikTok and Instagram. They're both named Mrs._Tokoyami. I also have Twitter. So if you use Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. It's the same name, Mrs. Tokoyami. But I'm barely in there, but I'm trying to use it more.
Awesome. And you already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at KingBenji_Banks. On Twitter and Instagram, you can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, Mrs. Tokoyami, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for watching this brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer as we continue celebrating the month of International Women's Month here on the podcast and the channel. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.